great things about this business. A couple of things, yes, I did do the music tonight, and I played some Beatles for our good buddy Steve Beck, who I definitely did not do as good a job as he did DJing, but I picked some really, really good songs. And so welcome everybody. Wow, December already. Can you believe it? We are in December right now, and 2022 is almost over. I mean, I swear it was just yesterday we were sitting down talking about what are our New Year's affirmations, what are the things that we want to get accomplished for this year. These are all the great things that I'm going to make sure I get done. And guess what? A lot of folks get those things done. Some people don't, but you are where you are today. We all are where we are today. That's the best part about today, is there's always tomorrow, right? If there's today, there's always tomorrow, and tomorrow you can make some changes and make them things better. And, listen, I know that that's been the theme always, constantly getting better each and every day at whatever it is that you do, whether it's to be the best father you can, best mother that you can, best spouse that you can, best team leader that you can, best student that you can, best son you can, best daughter you can. I mean, we all have an opportunity to do that and improve. In any period of time, you can always make an improvement. I mean, quite honestly, you can make an area of improvement in 15 minutes, right? I mean, you could literally in 15 minutes make a decision and go into a new course of action, and that begins and that starts your particular journey towards whatever it is, that goal that you want. And so welcome everyone, because this is our last call for 2022 when we come together as a team. And so I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you, Annette, for hosting. And now I'm going to take the Zoom and turn it over to a lady that, she's just awesome. That's all I can say. I look at her up in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. See that smile she's got on her face, and she's always looking just amazing. And, she is just the queen of networking. I mean, I love hearing all the stories of, how she's absolutely built a market from nothing, to now groups of people that are gathering together in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, numbers, not ages. Well, there's probably a few 50-year-olds that are in there. You know what I mean? But anyway, I want to turn it over to Miss Lee Perry. We've got some exciting announcements in the month of December, some incentives, and you're going to go ahead and share those for us. Thanks so much, Lee.
Thank you, Timmer Halligan. Super excited to see everybody tonight. And I send a hello to all our new members like Annette. I'm seeing a lot of new faces. So I thought what I would do is share my screen to show you where to find the information. So let me do that. Yeah. All right. So when you get your email from Legal Shield on the 1st of the month, it will have all of the updates listed. And the great thing about this is they've updated the look and feel of it, so it makes it super simple to find everything. And you can click through to find all of the information. So if you're super busy and you've got a regular job and kids and family and everything going on, you can actually put this into a separate file in your email and save it and go back to it at any time. When you click, you can view it in the browser, which is what I did. And then here is Building Towards Puerto Vallarta. So super exciting that all recruits are doubled December 1st through the 10th. So what does that mean? Well, that means anybody that is recruited December 1st through the 10th helps you get on the leaderboard to go to Puerto Vallarta next year. And that'll be I think it's the July. You know what? I didn't write down the dates of the trip, Timmer. But it's there it is, July 18 to 22 at the Hilton Riviera, July 18 to 22. And everybody has an opportunity to qualify for Puerto Vallarta by using this Recruits Are Double, because they count not only when you bring them on board, but when folks fast start qualify, they count again. So they count double for you. And all of the specifics are on this sheet. So to find that, you just go to this One Dream Building Towards Puerto Vallarta, the incentive flyer, the personal leaderboard, and the organizational leaderboard is on here. And I want to give a shout out to Timmer Halligan, who's number 12 on the organizational leaderboard right now. And Mr. John Drennan is number 22. Now that's as of today. There'll be a big push by folks because this is the last month for this particular portion of qualification. So we'll all be rooting for them and working towards helping them continue to stay on that leaderboard. I want to come back to Charlotte and to the communication show replay and go down to the One Dream live events. This is a great opportunity to build across the country and invite people that you think would be great associates, or you know that they're looking for a side gig, or you want them to see the information. This is the One Team, One Dream live events now across the country. And to get to that, again, on that email from corporate, you just click that particular One Team, One Dream live events, and the flyer opens up, and that tells you everywhere they're going to be. There were some this past weekend, but I just started with the 9th, and they'll go all the way through the 17th. And we know that the holidays are following that. All right. The other thing that I want to make sure, especially those of you that are new, know where to find the information for convention. See you in Charlotte, and that will be the last weekend in March. So March 30th through April 2nd. It says it right here if you just look at that. But what I wanted to tell you is that, and I'll put these links into the post about this particular meeting on the Facebook group, the Team Ascent Facebook group, but it is Shield Associates /convention. So if you're brand new, you may be wondering, why is it important for you to go to convention? Well, here's the thing. Success leaves clues, and everybody that's on this call that's had a level of success has been to the big events. It's also one of our core commitments, because it's one thing to know about Legal Shield and to believe in Legal Shield, but when you go to a convention, and you can see that picture right there with that huge arena filled with people that are on the same brainwave, it is a whole different event. So make sure that you get registered as soon as possible so you can start looking for your airline tickets, or however you're going to get there, and get your reservations made right away. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention to you is that right here is the communication show replay, so that you can actually watch. So if you're tied up during the time, like frequently I can't watch the show because I've got networking events or something else going on, but I can watch it at any time just by clicking right here. And I have not had a chance to watch the new compensation presentation, but I've had several people tell me that it's outstanding. Everything that Don Thompson does is great. And again, you can click here, or you can go to your resources and LS Engage to get to it. And I wanted to mention too, that this ID Shield for Business, there are some of us that have clients in the ID Shield for Business product, and as of the 1st, we are no longer marketing that product. So if you have somebody that you've been talking to and they're interested, the information is also in this newsletter, and you can contact corporate about the referral partner that we'll be using from now on to continue to service those clients. And that coverage will completely end on April 30th. All right, Timmer, I think I've covered it, and I've showed everybody where to go for that information. Again, that'll be in your newsletter that comes directly to your email. So if you're not seeing that, make sure to check your spam. And you can also check LS Engage, log into the back office, check your profile, and make sure that the email that you have listed is the email that you use. All right, Timmer, I think I covered it all, and I'm going to send it back to you.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. You know, as I go back and I rewatch and I see all the different things that we've got going on in Legal Shield, and it's all about the focus on getting it done. You know, when you've got promotions, you go after them, right? If they say, hey, you got one more chance to go to Puerto Vallarta, you try hard to try and go to Puerto Vallarta, right? That's what you do. And so we got a couple more quick segments that we want to jump into real quick. The next one I'm really excited for, proud for, you know, and humbled to be able to friend of this lady. I mean, her and her husband, I mean, amazing folks. We know that, you know, just a couple of months ago, we lost Mr. Steve Beck, who is normally our DJ, and his wife and Linda and him had been in this business, are in this business, you know, still, believe me, I know Steve's up top. He's looking down at us telling me, Timmer, you should have picked a different song. I know he's saying that, right? I mean, I just know it. I know it's absolutely happening. He's like all three of those songs, but you know what? It's, you know, there's life's about, you know, overcoming some challenges, some things going on. And, you know, Linda, you know, it's a wonderful celebration you had for Steve. I've heard so many amazing things, and he was a great friend to all of us. And, you know, I know you had a lot of things that have been happening and going on, and but the business continued to go on, continue to be in Performance Club. And, last month had an awesome month, for a multitude of different reasons. And, I just wanted to share, I know the entire team saying, hey, congrats, that's awesome. And that's why we always highlight those great stories that we've got on the team. And I want to go to you, Linda Beck, share a little bit about your last month and, your excitement heading into 2023. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Timmer. Thank you for all the kind words too. I also wrote it down. I hope you don't mind, but good evening, everyone. Good evening, family. I am excited to talk about my November, but let's start here. In December, it's December 4th, and I already have PC done and working toward PC Pro. November was the best month I can remember. I ended up with $300 premium dollars, which gave me 200 for the Pro and then 100 carryover. I made Pro for the first time in a long time, and my commission was over $900. In October, I missed PC. I couldn't get the, whatever you call it, I couldn't make it up because they had already done that earlier this year. But it was the longest run that the Becks had at 16 months. And that could have slowed me down because I was kind of disappointed with that. But in 2022, my word for the year was positivity. Many of you have heard this before. I've said it on calls many times, and all of that I've learned through this company has kept me going. When Steve passed away, I could have chosen to quit for a while. I didn't. I see the three-legged stool on working in my life right now. Personal development. How many times have we heard people say that personal development has helped them through the tough times? The book I'm listening to right now on Audible is Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. And I have to say, I think he's speaking to me in that first chapter. Coachable. I am working on that still, but being coached by so many, Timmer, Annette, John, Jane, Tanya Mack, and so many others from this team and outside of this team. And activity. My activity has been so much fun. The points I received in November were all over the board. I received a business plan with trial defense, a legal plan, an ID Shield plan. Speed networking led me to a dual plan with a gun owner's supplement, and then teamwork with a group that Annette shared with me had brought us 4 new members, and I had a decision maker meeting from another network group. This last month, I feel like the legs of my stool have not been too wobbly. Back to you, Timmer.
That is awesome, and congratulations. I mean, that story right there, just is really a training in itself. That took 2 or 3 minutes is worth 2 or 3 decades worth of, knowing what's coming and what can happen. And, congratulations, Linda. That was just awesome. That is awesome. And hey, now I'm going to go out to Mr. John Drennan. I know we got something coming up special here. John is the leader of Success Partners International, been in this company for 20 plus years. He's working on his 3rd million with the company. He's just an amazing mentor, an amazing friend. And I'm going to turn over to you, sir, to talk about something special we got coming up. You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, I've only been doing this for 24 years. Thanks so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy December. And, Linda Beck's comments there were so incredible because in those couple of minutes, she talked about the 3 legs of the stool. She talked about going to networking events, meeting with decision makers. The basic things that this business involves. So kudos to you, Linda. We all admire you. And so, I want to talk about what's coming up. And to talk about it, most of you know, we as a team have a morning stretch call. It's Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's a call, not a Zoom. We've been doing it for 8 years. Well, something that spun off from that, thanks to Jane Lehman and some others on this line tonight, is a Saturday affirmation call. And that's every Saturday at 8 a.m. Well, that group is leading a planning session Saturday, December 17th. So it won't be next Saturday, but the following Saturday. So this coming Saturday will be the normal affirmation call, but on the 17th, it'll be an hour and a half from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. call, not a Zoom, using the same phone number we use every morning for a stretch call. And it will be a planning session. I know Timmer Halligan and I will both be contributing to that, as will other people. So it's going to be really valuable. So I encourage you to put that down. And also, we will ask Alice to get that on our team calendar. And if you're new to our team, we have a calendar, which is successpartnerscalendar.com, where you can go see the events that we have as a team, as well as recordings that are on our YouTube channel and other things. So I'm looking forward to that. Jane, kudos to you and that Saturday morning team for putting this together. And with that, Timmer, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Drennan. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Linda, with your story. Annette getting us kicked off. Lee Perry telling us all the great things that we've got going on this month. And, now I got an opportunity to go out to a buddy of mine, man, a guy that I remember meeting him a few years ago. I think we were both backstage getting ready to go do something. I can't remember what it was. I met his wife, Julia, and they were standing in line getting ready to see something. And I was standing in line to get ready to see something. We started chatting, and then I've had the opportunity to get to know him even better and to follow his trainings and to really be mentored by him. You're not always mentored just by somebody who's older than you, right? There's people that are younger than you, and he's definitely younger than me. I can see the wrinkles. He doesn't have any. You've seen him do push-ups. You definitely have not seen me do push-ups because this guy can do a whole bunch of them. But he's an incredible leader. He is one of the top producers from a growth perspective, has been the top 10 the last several years. And he's a $200,000 income earner. He is a fast start trainer. He's one of the best fast start trainers in all of Legal Shield. And that's probably why he's got such incredible growth. And he definitely likes Alabama football. So I'm going to turn it over real quick, check in and see if you are here, Mr. Alex Shahid.
Hey, man, roll tide.
Yeah, saw that Auburn game, man. They always make you a little bit nervous. I see a TikTok here and there, like, look at Alabama's getting ready to lose. They were like down by 3 points, and then they come back to crush everybody, for the most part. So
I was
thanks so
upset
much.
we weren't in the top 4 for the playoffs. They kept us in number 5. I don't know how Ohio State and TCU can lose and not put us in, but you know what? It's not about football. We'll remain champions. It's I love the tagline at the University of Alabama. That's where I went to school. It says Alabama, where legends are made. So cut from that cloth, and honored to be here with you tonight.
That is awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about Alabama because I do have a question a little bit. But first, let's start out with this. This business, what's so cool is I look at, all the folks that I've got on here tonight and so many people, and I didn't know any of them or hardly any of them when this business started. Not one, right? Like, maybe 1 or 2 people that you knew, but that's what's amazing about this business is we all have to be brought into it. Somehow, some way, somebody recruited us, right? Some people hate the word recruit, but guess what? If you got recruited to play football in Alabama, would you be excited? Heck yeah, you would, right? I mean, I got recruited to go. And so recruiting is a powerful word in a positive way. And so I want to first question I ask you is kind of give us your background, man. Where did you get started? How did you get recruited? What did the person say to you? Because I know if I'm not mistaken, you came right out of college and jumped right into business.
Yeah, so I was 22 years old in college at Alabama. I was working nights and weekends as a server and a personal trainer. I loved health and fitness, and I had a pretty busy schedule. And I was actually trying to recruit the guy as a training client. And he goes, "Hey, man, I'm working on a business project. Would you like to see what I do?" And I'm thinking, like, if he's going to pay me to train him, I should at least take a look. So I said, "Sure, what you got?" And I don't have any anymore, but he gave me a DVD. It was dual-sided, one side CD, the other side DVD. I thought it was cutting edge for, 2010, and popped it in the DVD player of my laptop approximately 2 months after he gave it to me and collected dust on my shelf. But he did something that I think was key, is he became my friend. We're in college, so we're going out drinking, on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday nights together. That's a joke. You do a lot of drinking in college. Anyway, most nights of the week. we started working out together. We started going to the football games together, and really just became a friend. And so after the 6th or 7th time that he asked me to take a look at the video, I felt guilty. I wasn't uninterested, I was unaware. And so because of his friendship and follow-up, I popped it in, realized I had spent $1,600 on an attorney because of a speeding ticket a year prior. And when I saw that would have covered my membership for years, I said, let me get this straight. You mean to tell me they'll go to court, represent me, and keep the points off my record free as a part of this service? He goes, yeah. I said, sign me up. He goes, for the membership? I said, no, everything. I want for the business, the membership. I want to make money. I struck out the first 30 or 40 people that I talked to because I did not go to a fast start training or launch my business with at the time they called it a PBR. Now they call it a PZC, a private Zoom call. But I saw this book, one of the best things he did for me, called The Profiles of Success. They didn't used to be this thick, but they are now. Over 400 six-figure earners documented in here. And I thought, as cocky as I was as an only child and a seemingly intelligent person, that if all of these people were making that kind of income, that it was something that I was doing wrong, that I could fix and also earn that type of income. And so I was coachable. I was hungry. I had a burning desire to win. And when I connected with my executive director and he gave me some coaching tips, I plugged into the Fast Start training. I launched my business, actually did 3 private business receptions in December of 2010 after finals. So it'd be, probably in about a week or two, around the 17th, 18th, between then and the end of the year, and made $3,600. And that lit me on fire. Ended up making about $24,000 in 2011, my first year in the full year in the business, still part-time in college. And then when I graduated in 2012, never created a resume or took a job. And then in 2019, retired my wife from her full-time nursing career. And now we're blessed to be $200,000 ring earners, working from home and really making a decision to ramp up in November, which the numbers showed. We broke 2 new senior directors, a new executive director, 3 new managers, 9 fast start qualifiers, and 28 recruits. And going into this month with some good momentum to close out the year, to launch into a 90-day run from January to April 1 in the Charlotte convention. So I don't know if that was everything you were looking for, but that's what I got. You're muted, though, if you're trying to say something. Hey, Mr. Halligan, you are muted. You gotta unmute.
See, we're all so well trained to mute ourselves, right? So get rid of the background noise. We gotta get well trained and jump back. Like I said, I had my pen going. I wasn't paying any attention to anything but what you'd said. I love a couple of things. You struck out 30 or 40 times. I've seen so many folks, and I think you all can agree with it. You've seen a lot of folks that strike out and leave after 3 or 4 times, right? 3 or 4 times, something doesn't work well. Don Wilson, PBR every Friday night for the first year, every Friday night, and hit 6 figures in 9 months. So we know that, these types of things work. Here's a question I've got for you real quick. You've been, top 10 in growth, for several years. You're always growing. And, what are the things that you personally do as a leader? And what are the things, or those core values, those things that you just reinforce over and over and over in the duplication process so that you can stay top 10 in growth? It's one thing to be top 10 in growth once. It's another thing to be top 10 in growth each time you were top 10 in growth before. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think there's several things that account for that. Hopefully this will make the 10th year in a row that we've been in the top 10. I think we'll make the cut. We're number 3 in fast start qualification right now. And what it comes down to is a lot of how you were raised. You show me somebody that has self-confidence, and I'll show you somebody that keeps promises to themselves. Said differently, show me somebody that lacks self-confidence, and I'll show you somebody that breaks promises to themselves. And so, a short story, when I was a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts, and I was staying on an overnight trip, and I didn't want to stay. I wanted to quit. I wanted to come home. I wasn't, I was 12, 13 years old. I'm like, this is not for me. But my dad never let me stop something or quit something in the middle. You don't have to start soccer again, but you can't quit. You don't have to start the next season, but you can't quit the current season. You don't have to go on the next Boy Scout trip, but you're not quitting this one. And he actually came and stayed overnight and camped with me so I would stay. And so I think that was like a pivotal lesson in my life on the value of not quitting on what you say you're going to do. And so I think every day, the 2 exposure a day rhythm is so easy to do that it's just as easy not to do. But doing it or not doing it makes all the difference. A lot of times people say, well, Alex, how have you been in Performance Club for 138 months in a row? I missed it once in July of 2011. I remember like it was yesterday, the credit card didn't process from one of my buddies the very last day of the month. And I had to start over 6 months in. But we haven't missed it since then. So 11 years later in the Performance Club program because of 2 a day. But I think it's what you're willing to commit to, and you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And so in this business, we have systems, 2 a day, a weekly meeting, a monthly Super Saturday, a yearly international convention. And it's what you do daily determines who you become permanently. So before I go to sleep at night, I'm old school. I'm that millennial that makes a list on a piece of paper. I don't know why. It's funny to me. I always find that Generation X and baby boomers are the ones that use Excel sheets and all the technology, and it's the younger folks that still use pen and pad. All the people I coach that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're like, "Oh yeah, I use Excel. I integrate that in my whatever." I'm like, "Bro, I got a calendar that's on paper and a notebook that's on paper. But look, whatever works for you. I just plan my day before it ends, meaning before I go to sleep tonight, I know who I'm going to call tomorrow. I know who I'm going to connect with tomorrow. I pull the reports weekly on the team, who's in fast start, who's about to hit the next rank, what are our Performance Club numbers, and I'll call Annette. Hey, Annette, it's the 4th day of the month. I just wanted to congratulate you for your $50 in rollover. So excited that every review that you do before the 10th counts double for the next trip to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. This is an example, right? I mean, I don't know if Annette had 50 rollover. I'm saying I'm always looking at the numbers. I'm always, some people play around on the internet at night and look at Facebook reels. I'm playing around in my back office, looking at my reports, looking at my numbers, seeing where Will's at, seeing where Linda's at, seeing where Jim's at, seeing where Melvin's at, seeing where Jane's at. And I'm looking at my players to see, I've got a list here of people that I want to call tomorrow. And so every day, I'm committed to moving the ball forward by connecting with several people on the team and several new prospects, as well as doing those 2 exposures a day. You're now on mute again.
I got you. Thanks, man. Yeah, again, I'm taking notes. I'm just sitting there listening. I'm just getting inspired and fired up. And, because it's anything you want to develop, the best trained team wins, the best systems you have, save yourself time, energy, money. We all know that, but it's sticking with it that's tough. And that's what you've consistently done. And, my next question, really my last question for you, is I know you're an Alabama fan, right? You watch them play, you bleed it if you say it,
yes.
But they also get beat, yep. Right? They lose. They have some heartbreakers. There's probably 4 or 5 plays this year that if they'd have made them, they'd be playing for the national title. They've had, great championships, but they've also had downfalls. And I know you've been in this business for 12 years, right? Or whatever that number is that you're in. And I've had challenges. I know John Drennan's had challenges, here. Brian Carruthers has had challenges in his business. And, Alex Shahid, I'm sure, had challenges in his business. And, folks, sometimes there are challenges you think that, man, they'd knock 99% of the people out, right? They'd be like, bye, see ya, adios, nice knowing, made some great friends, and you're gone. But, Alabama, you still love them, right? You still cheer them on. You still believe they can always win. And so when you run into challenges, or you've had challenges in your business, you just got to mention the not quitting part, but what's the mentality? It's one thing to say it. It's another thing when you feel some of those things. How do you keep yourself focused when things aren't going well? And you got life, right? New babies and all kinds of other stuff going on. And so share with us that. How do you come up from when you get knocked down?
Yeah, I do believe that, there's a great documentary that you can get it. You got to buy it on eBay. It's not on Amazon. I can't find it anywhere else. It's called Game Changer by Nick Saban. Game Changer by Nick Saban. It's so good. And it talks about his time with Bill Belichick and the way that he was raised and his football career before he was a head coach. He's like, dude, I've only been a national championship winning head coach for like a very small percentage of my career. The most of my career, you know, I was failing my way to the top. And I just, you know, we're talking football. I love that guy is an incredible example, Christian man, the whole 9 yards. But, you know, I think what it comes back to for me personally is I was always that kid that was the small kid. I mean, I was skinny, I was picked on, I was made fun of, I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up. And so I think that as I gained that confidence and I can share, you know, multiple stories in my life where I realized that, you know, nobody else was going to do it for me. My dad coming and staying with me overnight so I didn't quit. It was another time at a convention. I was by myself. My best friend wasn't with me. And I remember opening the door and seeing a bunch of other kids. I think I was about 15 at the time. And I was like, oh man, you know, Joey's not here. So I shut the door and I was going to go hang out with other people that I was familiar with. And I were hearing a voice in my head, almost like, you know, it was God or somebody just speaking to me. And it said as clear as day, when are you going to stop letting other people give you your self-worth? You're everything that you need. Turn around and walk back in that room. And I turned around and walked back in that room at age 15. And that was the exact moment that I gained the confidence that ultimately exudes for me today. It didn't happen overnight, but I remember that was the exact moment. You know, it was the dad staying with me overnight on the Boy Scout trip that taught me the value of not quitting. It was that moment that taught me that I was enough. And every book, every person, every seminar, everything that I've attended since then reaffirm what I believe to be true. And so every time I got knocked down, I thought about all the people that said I couldn't do it. Was I going to prove them right or was I going to prove them wrong? And oftentimes in life, it's the people that said, oh, Will, you can't do this. This is one of those network marketing pyramid schemes. You'll never be successful in this. You know, give me, you know, I remember what was the Water Boy with Bobby Boucher. It was tackling fuel. Tell me I can't do it. Tell me it doesn't work. Tell me it's a scam. Tell me that it can't happen for me. Tell me I'm not going to get the six-figure ring, that I can't make multiple six figures. Tell me I'm not going to hit platinum. And watch me go do it. And oftentimes I was blessed in life to have a lot of haters. At the time, you know, I felt maybe a little bit negatively about that. But what I realized as I matured and grown up was that a dog doesn't bark at a parked car. And they saw something in me that was threatening to them. It was the energy, it was the excitement, it was the motivation. And every single time I got knocked down and was presented with potential defeat, I had a decision to make. It could either be the wet blanket that allowed the fire to go out or the fuel that allowed it to flame up. And maybe it was because the way I was raised, maybe it was being an only child, maybe it was my dad, maybe it was that experience when I was 15, or maybe it's just because I didn't want to lose anymore. You know, I felt like at times in life that I was a loser because I'd lost so much. And I was okay with the feeling of getting knocked down. I just wasn't okay with the feeling of staying there. And so I was committed to doing whatever it took to get up. And you never feel good in that moment. But when you get up from defeat and you look back and you said, you know, damn, I was about to quit, or man, I can't believe that was about to happen. And look at me now. It always feels good. That's why when we hear somebody share their story, we get emotional, not because it's their story, but because we can see ourselves in those positions where we either have overcome or had a desire to overcome. And that's really what's kept me on the path this whole time, even though I've gotten knocked down a lot.
Wow, that was fantastic, man. I can't even express to you enough the power of those words. And I know tonight you had another Zoom that you were doing prior to this, and you're taking time away from your family to help us out. And man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Charlotte, man. It's like first time in my life I can like drive to a convention like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from where it's going to be. But real quick. One final question, if you could summarize, why should you be at convention? It's coming up, it's in Charlotte. We've never been there, I don't believe, for a convention, but why should you be there?
Yeah, I mean, very simply, it's fun. Why wouldn't you want to have fun? I would say don't go to convention if you don't like having fun. If you're adverse to fun, I'd probably stay home. But if you enjoy having fun, I would say go to convention. I can give you some long-winded answer, but I'm excited to go because it's a blast and I like having fun. Maybe it's the only child in me. Maybe it's the, the fact that I like to party in college and I still like to party today. I just want to have fun. So I'm going to go because I want to learn and I want to associate with some people and I want to grow. But if you really ask like the inner me to give you the real answer, it's because I want to have fun. So that's why I'm going to Charlotte, and I think you should too.
That's a great answer, man. Well, listen, thank you so much, Alex. Appreciate you. You have a good night. Tell Julia I said hey, and I'll see you soon, buddy.
All right, man. Take care. Thank you so much.
Well, listen, that was that was a clinic, folks, and so appreciate Alex joining us. And here's some of the things that I think we should take a look at and really understand the significance of them. Is I'm definitely going to check out Game Changer by Nick Saban, just because I know Nick Saban's an incredible coach. So I definitely want to find that. Always looking at his numbers, right? Knowing what his numbers are, that's powerful. And again, I recommend for your folks getting Fast Start qualified, look up Alex Shahid when it comes to getting Fast Start qualified. He teaches a class. He is tremendous. But let's just take just a second, right? You can talk about building the biggest team ever, and you can actually go out and work and do the right things to create the biggest team ever, right? There's a whole lot of failures that go along in team building, right? But they're really not failures. They're part of the process, right? If you got people that aren't showing up, you're doing things right. If you got people that join the business and don't do anything, you're doing something right. If you've got people that say they're going to be on a Zoom and they literally told you that 5 minutes before the Zoom and they don't show up at the Zoom, you are doing things right. We used to have to go to a hotel, right, to have somebody not show up. When you didn't have Zoom and everybody was out, it was every single week. You go to a hotel somewhere, you go to a restaurant, you have some lunch. And if they don't show up, they don't show up. You got in the car, you drove. Listen, all you got to do is put your pajamas on, walk upstairs, and you can get people onto a Zoom to be able to listen to what it is that we do. And you can also be in your pajamas when you're inviting them to listen to the Zoom, right? It's not a difficult thing to just say, hey, what are you doing tonight? So let's talk about the invitation process, because there's a couple different ways that you can invite, couple different things you can invite to. Obviously, Zooms, Monday and Wednesday night, we do those. We've got another one, I believe, Tuesday during the day, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Somebody put in the chat what our exact ones are. I can't remember. I know we got a small biz Zoom on Friday, but you also got LegalShieldCalendar.com. It's got Zooms every single night. So you got something that you can invite somebody to every single day of the week. So there definitely is not a lack of things. You've got Prospect by PPLSI that has a video in it that you can send to people. If you send it to them, guess what? You ask them to watch it. Didn't you hear what Alex said? The person gave him the video and had to remind him 6 times to watch the video. And so after the 6th one, he watched it. How many times have you invited one person to something and you don't re-invite them? Why do you probably not re-invite them? Because you don't use a notebook like Alex talked about to write stuff down. Listen, what do they say? I'll take a sharp pencil over a dull mind any day of the week, right? You write things down, you can remember it. So now you can say, I need to call so-and-so. So get yourself organized. This business is built upon a couple simple things. Linda talked about the 3-legged stool and how she really focused on it. And for those that don't know what that is, the 3-legged stool is something that John Drennan has been teaching for many, 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 many years, that there's 3 things that you need to do. Number 1, you got to have personal development. You've got to, you've got to show up, right, to whatever it is that you've got going on. Team Zoom, you show up. Team Zooms during the week, you show up. And activity. Doing the work to get people to take a look at what it is that we do. And so the activity part is we invite people to take a look and join us on a Zoom. How many times a week, how many times a day can you ask somebody the question, what are you doing at such and such a time? Right? Just add, that just becomes what you say. It's kind of like after you eat dinner, what does the waitress say to you every single time she comes up to bring you check? Would you like some dessert? She asks you every time, or he asks you every single time. And sometimes you say yes, but a lot of times you say no for a variety of different reasons, right? But the person keeps on asking. Why do they keep on asking? Because if you order a little bit more and you deliver something out and your bill goes up a little bit, well, guess what? They would get paid a little more income, right? That's why they ask you, would you like dessert? You know, they really want you out of there. No, just kidding. They want to just clean off your table and they want to go home. Yes, my wife, we've done a lot of waitress and she would tell you that's a lot of times the real, but it's about getting people to look at the information, then following up with them. And then you're going to get them onto a three-way call where you're going to be able to get them on with an expert. It's going to be able to share with you why they should look further into this. So you create your list. You invite them to look at something. I may call you up right now, go, hey, what are you doing right now? Nothing, man. Really? Hey, if I send you a video real quick, would you watch it? They just told you in that split second. That's like split second marketing. You don't have a Zoom going on. You got yourself a few minutes. You call somebody up. You go, hey, Will, what are you doing right now? I ain't doing nothing. Hey, man, if I send you a video right now, would you watch it? And you pull a video right out of Prospect by PPLSI, you send it over to the person, and then you follow back up with them. You invite them to the Zooms, as we had talked about. You get them onto a three-way call, and then you continue to follow up. Folks, that's how you're going to build a business going into 2023 that you're going to be really excited about. And I love what Alex said. It's about having some fun. Success is fun, right? It doesn't mean everything that leads up to it's fun. I mean, when you're going to go win the national title in basketball, believe me, everything that you did to win that national title was not fun. There were many, many days that you got sick, you threw up, the coach ran you too hard, the coach yelled at you a little too much, you jammed your finger, whatever it is, but then you come back even stronger to win the game. So folks, I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. We do not have any video tonight because I knew we were going to go long anyway. And I appreciate you all joining us. Use this month of December wisely. You've got a lot of holidays time that's going to be coming up. There's going to be Christmas parties. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Make sure you always got your Legal Shield business cards with you when you're out and about, because you always want to hand them to somebody. It was great talking to you. Hey, if I can ever help you with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. The person looks at the business card. Oh, really? Legal Shield, what's that? Gosh, let me ask you a question. If you could pick up the phone and you could call an attorney about any legal situation whatsoever, and you never had to worry about getting a bill, do you think you would call attorneys more often? Yeah, that's what I thought. Listen, I'd love to send you some information, right? So just be prepared always when you're out and about so you can talk to people about what it is we do. Have some fun when you're out there doing it. We'll see everybody in the morning stretch calls every single day. We've got the special one coming up on the 17th. Everybody have a tremendous, tremendous day, and bye-bye for now.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night, Timmer.
Good night, good night.
Good night. Thank you, Alex.
Night, John boy.
Bye, Timmer. See you later.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.